working on a it's not a it's not a Cadillac, it's a Yukon. It's a GMC Yukon. It has the front grille. We're changing upper control arms. These are the parts. This was for the driver's side. We already did the driver's side. I guess I could show you the new parts installed. That's the info for that. Made in USA. Here's going to be the passenger side. There's the information for that. That's for this unit right here. And then here's the unit that we're using for the hub. They're both the same for both sides. We're changing both. There. And we're also changing the lower ball joint and the number for that. They're both the same, I believe. That's for the 07 GMC Yukon. It's probably very similar to these particular. The hub and everything is probably going to be also the same information, same part numbers for some GMC, maybe Yukon Denali. I can't be sure. You need to check with your parts person to make sure. But this is specifically for 2007 GMC Yukon. Here's with all the new parts we've already put. With the new upper control arm. Greased it up, hooked it up. We've done this side already. The new part comes with this. The old one does not have this, but it's okay. So we already did this side. I'll just go over. It's going to be a quick review. It's not going to be everything that was happening. I'll take you step by step and through the procedures. But pretty easy. I'll show you what you need. So, let me see. Let me get my light over here. Try to get some lighting over here. Sorry. First thing, remove the caliper. 2 bolts. One right here. One right here. Those were 19 millimeter. 2 19mm bolts, which are seen right there. And then you want to take this bracket off that connects to right here and also down right there. And those are those 2 right there. And those 2 are 18mm, and they are on there pretty tight. You're probably going to need a 1/2 inch drive or a breaker bar. They're on there pretty damn tight. So first, take your caliper off, hang it out of the way, and then this right here it was removed before, I believe. It's a T27 Torx, so mine came off easily. I just used the socket, hit it with a hammer, took the socket off. These right here, you stick the screws in here because this is going to be rusted right here. And if I can remember correctly, the actual, I'm sorry, I'm going to set you down right here so you don't have to walk around with me. I will be right back. Lose them. Yeah, 10, 1.5. This is 10 by 1.5 millimeter bolt. You stick it in here, you stick it in here, and you run it down, and this is going to pop off. It's going to be a little bit welded on with rust. After we remove this, we're going to want to get this, we're going to want to pull this off, and you could get those go-through sockets, and you could hold this with a wrench, but I just use an impact. I believe it's a 21 millimeter to remove this deep socket. And then right here, well, anyways, bang this with a hammer to the side, and it'll pop up easily enough. You can bang it here a small amount. After you bang here, it'll pop up, it'll move out of the way. Then you got this one right here. I also use an impact, but I believe you could use a wrench. It's a 24 millimeter. So again, it's a 24 millimeter, and then that's gonna come off. And then what I do is, let me see. There's a nut right here holding this on, but you can't get to it because if you see it's inside here, and you can't really get a ratchet in there, and this is just gonna turn anyways. So what you have to do is, you have to come here, loosen this up with a 21 millimeter. This is a 21 millimeter. This also right here is a 21 millimeter. This is a 21 millimeter. This is a 21 millimeter. Before you loosen those up though, what I use is I come in here and I mark the exact position of where this is I mark the exact position of where this is located. And what I use is a small what do you call it? Small rotary tool with the diamond bit. I use mine's just a Black & Decker. I guess I'll show you. I just use this to mark the location, because what happens is depending on which way you turn these, if I turn this bolt on this end, I turn it this way more, it's going to push it out or push it in, and it's going to change the alignment. So even though we're putting in new parts and everything, and it might need a wheel alignment after the fact, I mark here, I mark against this that is not going to move, and I mark against this thing that is going to move when I remove it, and I do the same thing here. So I'll just mark, for example, I'll mark right here, I'll mark on here, and then I'll mark against here to make sure that it's put back in the same position that it was removed. And I'll do the same thing over there. You see how you can move it? It can move, and you can move. So the pieces that are going to move like this, and this is not going to move, and this is going to move, you want to mark them together. You can use a paint marker or something if you don't have something to mark it, but you can easily also use just like a chisel and a punch or whatever, whatever technique you use to mark these, that and that, to mark it so that it goes in the same exact position. So you want to do that on both sides. This is going to move, you want to mark it. This is not going to move, you want to mark it together. Same thing here, same thing here. So these are 21 millimeter, 21 millimeter. Take this off, pull this out. You could leave this plate here while you pull the bolt out. It'll be easier instead of pulling this all together. Leave that, pull the bolt out, and pull it out this way. And then so that's all we're doing. So like I said, we're gonna hit this off, 21 millimeter, bang here, pop this up, pop it out of the way. Obviously use your jack stands. Don't just have it on a jack. I'm gonna make sure you use your jack stands anytime you're doing any type of work like this. So once this comes off, we're gonna have that ball joint right there. That ball joint, and then once I take everything off, I'll show you. This right here is 15 millimeter. This is a 15 millimeter right here. 15. You could turn the steering. Once you pop this loose, you'll be able to turn this easily. You could get to those, and then you're gonna have this one right here. It's hard to see it. There's one in here that's a 19 millimeter with an open-end wrench you're gonna have to get. Let me take off some of the stuff I got here. And this, I believe, is a 10 millimeter to take this off. Maybe 10, or looks like a 10. Take this off, pull this bracket, move it out of the way, disconnect this because this is going to come off. This, you stick a screwdriver in here. This will pop right off. Like that. It'll pop right off. Like that. This comes off. This. Push it down. Hard to do it with one hand. It'll come loose. Take this bracket off to move this out of the way. So let me do that. Let me get to removing everything, and I'll come back to you. I'll just show you. This goes into here. See how it's not coming off by itself. This, in my particular case, is 16 millimeter head. In your case, it may be another, but this is 10 by 1.5. So you crank it down like this. Crank it down here like this. You have to get a crowbar. Hold it from sounds scary, but it's just busting loose from the rust. And do one side and do the other. Now it's pretty much free. Pushes off the back of it. See, it's rusted onto right here. These go through there. Push off the back of it. 10 by 1.5. And then now we're gonna get this one. And here's the bolt nut I was talking about. It's a 19 millimeter. That's one of the three. The other ones are in the back over here. Like I showed you before, those are 15 millimeter. That one and that one, you want to take those off. Anyways, that's how you pop that off using the 10 by 1.5 bolts. Pop it off. Alright, you can hit it. So I loosened up 21, pushed it out. This was a little bit in the way of the bolt coming out, so I got a jack, I put it under here, I lifted it up to move this small amount out of the way. I pushed the bolt out, it came out. And then what was connected up here was the control arm. 19 millimeter, you got to get in there. I used this right here. It's a swivel 19 to get in there, and use that to pop it off. You're going to need a socket. You can't get in there with a wrench. It doesn't come out here. You got to go inside here with a 19 millimeter. Impact socket worked. The swivel, this is still connected when you pop it off. It's connected down here. This is connected down here like this to up here like that, and then this is still connected. So I come down here, I start whacking on the side there, whack, 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 whack. Won't come off. Put the nut back on, hit the nut from the bottom because I'm gonna use a new nut anyways, and then it drops. Boom. Drops down. Once it drops down, you get your 19 millimeter and you take off the control arm. I just use the impact, whether a socket will work, a socket and a screw, a socket and a ratchet, whether that'll work, I don't know. I didn't try it. Now what we're gonna have to do is right there, I'm gonna have to pound those in right here, small amount. I'll have my buddy hold the camera maybe while I do that. So let's pound this out. It's gonna go down. Just use a hammer, pound it out. Cheap little $2 hammer I got. So pound it out. Got a chisel. I'm gonna hit this in, hit this in, hit this in, hit this in, and then pound it down. And then the new one, I'll show you what I used to put the new one in. The new one, when I'm gonna install, I already installed the other side. It's just all Harbor Freight stuff. It's you know, cheap stuff. So anyways, it's nothing special, nothing expensive. stuff you do it yourself is you can do it yourself. And I believe the Harbor Freight one's almost similar to the OTC one. Maybe they're both made in China. So let me get to that, and let me pound that out. So 19 millimeter, 24 millimeter, 21 millimeter for this, and then those are also 21. Let me get to pounding that out. I'll show you. Try to have my buddy come over. Okay. We gotta hit these notches in. You just take some of it off. It's no big deal. Just take some of the metal off. Not very hard metal. Should wear safety glasses. I use this so I don't, if I slip, which I've done before, I don't have a bad day, like I just did there. I don't have a real bad day. I gotta tighten it a little bit. Four. See, that would have hurt me. Maybe a little more. Try it again. Now it's coming out. You just want to take it easy. You don't want to damage the outside. You move this out of the way. It falls. What I could do now is just grab this, just hit it through. And then that pops out, so you can see it's just kind of staked in there. And then the new one, when we put it in, I'll show you what I'm gonna use. Actually, go ahead and stay filming. I'm gonna show you real quick what I'm gonna use. And this is everything that I needed. This is what I'm using right here. I'll use the old ball joint for how I'm gonna do it. Where's the new ball joint? Yeah, give me a second. Just keep filming. So before I actually do it, I'm just gonna show you how I set it up. We'll come here, we'll clean this a small amount with some sandpaper. This is gonna go up here. You want to position this where you're going to be able to grab access, maybe at an angle like that, so when you rotate it to the left you could get in here like this. This goes like this. This one, in this particular instance, fits, comes with the kit. You want that it goes through. That one goes through. Actually, yeah, like that. This is going to go like that. So that's going to go in there like that. And then so that this could come in here, you're going to put this. And then this is going to go right here like that. And then I'm going to pull this out like this. I'm not doing it right now, I'm just showing you how I do it. And then this is going to go like this. And like I said, I'm not doing it right now. But what happens is, when I do it, what's going to happen is, I want to make sure it's kind of So what's going to happen is when I crank down on this, which I believe is 22 millimeter or maybe 7/8. When I crank down, this is going to push this up into here, and then this leaves access to get in right here. And this kit right here was the ball joint kit from Harbor Freight. This piece right here is part from the ball joint adapter set, and that's all you need. That's how you set it up. And then you make sure you come in here, clean it a little bit. I'm going to put a small amount of this anti-seize stuff after I put some sandpaper, and then it should go in nice and smooth. And that's it. We're going to crank it down. It's going to rotate this way. It's just going to pull it up. Want to make sure that this isn't blocking this from coming in. And then that's it. That's how you set it up, like that. Set up just like that. This is going to go on the top. This is going to go like that. The one with the bigger hole right there goes like that. And because it has the bigger hole, it goes to the bottom. It leaves access for this to go through. When you crank down, it's going to push it up. And that's it. In your particular application, whatever vehicle you're working on, it's the same thing. If you're going down with it, then you're going to have to flip it around. You know, there's different ways you could do it. Just make sure that you think about what you're doing and you get it in to where it's got to go. So, you know, you just try your different adapters. There's different adapters. There's one smaller than this, and there's one bigger. And this one, in this particular instance, you just size it up, see which one fits. In this particular case, that one fits. So that's the one we're going to use. So now I'm going to come in here with some sandpaper, clean it up, put a little bit of anti-seize, and then push it back up. Anti-seize will help it to lubricate it while it's going back in, and also prevent it from rusting in case he ever wants to do it again. And that's about it. You just put everything back exactly the way that it was removed. And that's about it.